Well, hello everybody, welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some lemon cookies, easy lemon cookies I'm going to call these, or lemon biscuits. They're not the chewy type, they're going to be sort of slightly crunchy, a little bit soft inside but slightly crunchy. Very simple to make and with very few ingredients, but it does take a bit of time because I need to chill the pastry for about an hour and a half after I've rolled it out between some parchment paper. So what I have ready is some parchment paper which I've cut to the size of my baking sheet, so that having rolled the pastry out between the parchment paper, I can then use that later on the baking sheet as well. So for the ingredients, I have 227 grams, which is 16 tablespoons or 2 sticks of unsalted butter. I have 200 grams, which is 1 cup of plain sugar. I have 350 grams, which is about 2.5 cups of plain flour, 1 medium egg, which would be large in the USA, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, the zest from 1 lemon, a teaspoon of lemon juice, and into that, just to give an extra lemon kick without making the pastry dough too wet, I've added 1/4 teaspoon of lemon extract. Now if you don't have lemon extract, you could use a little bit more lemon juice, or a little bit, the zest from 2 lemons perhaps. I'm going to do this all in my food processor. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put my sugar into the food processor, and then I'm going to put my chilled butter in as well. And I'm going to pulse and blitz that until it sort of comes together into a clump. I may have to scrape the bowl, the inside of the bowl down as I do that. So as you can see, that has clumped together. So I'm just going to knock that over, and with that like that, I'm going to add the remaining ingredients. So I'm going to put my baking powder and baking soda and salt into the flour, and then I'm actually going to drop the lemon zest in as well, and I'm going to mix those around. I just want to get it spread a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add my egg in and my lemon zest and lemon extract, and I'm going to give that a bit of a pulse. And that's become incorporated, but I'm going to just lift that a little bit from the bottom, and then I'm going to add the flour, and I'm going to pulse that until it begins to clump, but it hasn't completely formed into a big ball. That's beginning to come together now, so I'm going to turn that out onto my work surface, being careful not to cut myself with the blade. And some of the butter went inside the chute of my blade, so I'm actually going to, as I pull the dough together, I'm going to knead it just to make sure that gets incorporated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this into two pieces. They don't have to be equal pieces. And I'll take one and put it to one side for a minute. And then I'm going to take a sheet of parchment paper and I'm going to put the dough onto there and press it down. And then I'm going to put some more parchment paper on the top, and I want to roll that out until it's a thickness of about 1/8 of an inch. And that's about 1/8 of an inch, so that's good enough. And I need to do the same with the second piece of dough as well. And then I'm going to put both of them onto a baking tray, the same baking tray, just stack them on top of each other. And I'm going to put them in the fridge and chill them for at least 1.5 hours. And as the pastry resting time comes to an end, I'm going to preheat my oven to 150 Celsius, that's 300 Fahrenheit, and that will then be ready to take the baking trays with the cut out cookies once we've cut them out. The pastry has chilled for at least 1.5 hours, and my oven has been preheated to 150 Celsius, 300 Fahrenheit, and I've taken the pastry out of the fridge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the parchment paper, and then I'm going to put it back on again and turn it over and peel off the other side. Now that parchment paper can be used to line a baking tray for cookies, so that's fine. And what I'm going to do is take some cookie cutters. You can use whatever shapes you want and just cut out some shapes and place them onto a baking tray. leaving a gap between them. So I have 2 baking trays, and I have some more cut out, and I'm going to re-roll the rest of the pastry. And what I'm going to do is to take some sugar, granulated sugar this is, and I'm going to sprinkle it on the top like that, of just a few. And the others, you could make some lemon icing and drizzle that over the top if you want. It's up to you what you want to do with them. But I'm just going to bake them off. So I will bake those off for 16 or 17 minutes. I'll keep an eye on them. I just want them to start to change colour, but I don't want them to go too dark or brown. Then I'll take them out of the oven, let them cool down, and I'll come back and show you the results. I baked our easy lemon cookies for 16 minutes, and then I took them out of the oven and allowed them to cool down. And this is what they look like. So these ones at the front are the ones that have the sugar, the granulated sugar on them, and if I hold that correctly, you'll be able to see that. And then I have the plain ones, which you could easily, if you wanted to, just mix some icing sugar with a little bit of lemon juice until it's of a fairly thick but running consistency, and you can drizzle some of those over the top if you wanted to. Some of that over the top, should I say, if you wanted to, and let it set. So I'll have a taste of one. So they have that lovely crunch to them. They're a very light biscuit, and they have a nice lemon flavour, not overpowering because we didn't put much lemon in, but that lemon flavour does come through. So I think these are quite successful, and they're very easy to make. Well, that's going to be it for this recipe, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to the recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video as well. And then I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.